Before the name FIFA became connected with online seasons, ultimate team cards, and global competitions, it existed as a quiet experiment that tried to translate the feeling of football into simple pixels and limited sound. At a time when home consoles were still learning how to simulate real life. In the early 1990s, video games were shaped by technical boundaries, small memory spaces, and modest processing power, which meant that developers had to focus more on imagination than realism. Stadiums were flat, players were small, and animations were repetitive. Yet within these limits, something meaningful began to form. In 1993, the release of FIFA International Soccer introduced an isometric camera angle that allowed players to see the pitch from a diagonal perspective, creating a sense of depth and movement that felt surprisingly natural for its time. This design choice distinguished FIFA from many other sports games and helped define its visual identity for years to come. Historically, this mattered because it showed that football could be represented not only through statistics and menus, but through rhythm, spacing, and emotional flow. Players learned to read digital graphs, pixelated shadows, and simplified crowds as if they were real environments. Early editions, such as FIFA 95 and FIFA 96, expanded this foundation by introducing club teams, national squads, and improved animations, slowly building a recognizable football universe inside living rooms. Licensing agreements with organizations like FIFA and real-world leagues gave the games an authentic feeling, allowing fans to see familiar team names and player identities on their screens. By the mid-1990s, soundtracks, crowd noise, and commentary began to play a more important role, transforming matches into small theatrical experiences that combined play with atmosphere. Even limited audio technology was used carefully to support immersion rather than overwhelm it. The transition to three-dimensional graphics in titles such as FIFA 97 marked another important step, as players and stadiums gained volume and texture, even if movement still felt mechanical and restrained. These early 3D experiments reflected the industry's broader attempt to move toward realism without losing accessibility. During this period, FIFA also became a shared social experience as friends gathered around small televisions, passing controllers, arguing over goals, and replaying memorable moments late into the night. Matches were rarely about perfection, but about presence, laughter, and routine. Career-like features and tournament modes slowly appeared, allowing players to imagine long-term journeys rather than isolated matches. Managing teams, tracking results, and progressing through seasons created emotional attachment, even when options were limited. Historically, these early systems laid the foundation for later deep management modes, proving that players valued continuity and narrative as much as competition. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, FIFA had become more than a sports game. It had become a quiet companion to evenings, a background to conversations, and a digital space where football culture could exist independently of television broadcasts. Menus, loading screens, and match intros became familiar rituals, marking transitions between daily life and personal time. The act of starting a match slowly turned into a calming routine rather than a competitive challenge. This early era of FIFA was defined not by perfect realism or massive online networks, but by experimentation, patience, and emotional discovery. It was a time when football first learned how to live inside machines, adapting itself to screens, controllers, and human imagination. Before global leaderboards, esports, and digital marketplaces, there was simply a group of players learning how to enjoy the sound of virtual whistles, the movement of digital grass, and the quiet rhythm of simulated matches. And in that gentle beginning, the long journey of FIFA quietly started. As FIFA continued to mature through the late 1990s and early 2000s, it began shifting its focus from short, isolated matches toward longer emotional journeys, allowing players to imagine themselves not only as participants in individual games, but as caretakers of teams, seasons, and evolving stories. This transition became especially visible with the gradual development of career mode, a feature that invited players to step into the role of manager and architect, responsible for transfers, tactics, budgets, and long-term success. Instead of simply playing 90 minutes and moving on, players now stayed with their teams for years, watching virtual squads grow, decline, and transform. Historically, this shift reflected a broader cultural interest in long-term simulation, where people found comfort in planning, progression, and continuity. Career mode offered a quiet structure that mirrored real-life routines, allowing players to return night after night to familiar menus, familiar players, and familiar ambitions. Each season unfolded slowly, marked by transfer windows, contract negotiations, and league standings that changed gradually rather than instantly. This pacing encouraged patience and reflection, transforming football into a calm ritual rather than a constant competition. Alongside career mode, FIFA's soundtracks began gaining cultural importance, shaping the emotional atmosphere of menus and loading screens. Starting in the early 2000s, curated playlists featuring indie, electronic, and alternative artists became part of the series' identity, introducing players to new music while quietly accompanying late-night sessions. Songs played repeatedly in the background, slowly becoming associated with specific memories, seasons, and personal moments. Over time, certain tracks became inseparable from particular editions, reminding players of school years, friendships, and quiet evenings spent alone. Historically, this use of licensed music reflected a growing understanding that games were not only visual experiences, but emotional spaces shaped by sound. FIFA transformed menus into listening rooms, where players often lingered simply to absorb the atmosphere. Titles such as FIFA 04, FIFA 07, and FIFA 10 refined this balance between management, music, and gameplay, offering smoother interfaces, deeper customization, and more responsive controls. Career mode expanded to include youth development, scouting networks, and player growth systems, allowing users to nurture talent over long periods. These features encouraged emotional attachment, as virtual players became familiar companions rather than interchangeable assets. Injuries, transfers, and retirements carried quiet emotional weight, reminding players that progress always involved change. At the same time, presentation elements such as pre-match lineups, commentary improvements, and broadcast-style camera angles enhanced realism without overwhelming simplicity. Matches felt more like slow-moving narratives than isolated challenges. Late evenings often followed similar patterns, with players checking their squad, listening to menu music, adjusting tactics, and starting one more match before rest. These routines became personal rituals, blending gaming with relaxation. From a psychological perspective, career mode supported comfort through predictability, offering stable environments where effort led to gradual reward without excessive pressure. Soundtracks reinforced this calm by providing continuity across sessions. By the late 2000s, FIFA had become not only a football simulator, but a lifestyle companion, quietly shaping how people structured their free time, connected with music, and imagined long-term achievement. This era demonstrated that the most powerful experiences were not always found in winning finals or scoring spectacular goals, but in returning to familiar menus, familiar melodies, and familiar teams after long days. Through career mode and carefully curated soundscapes, FIFA learned how to speak to memory, routine, and emotional consistency, laying the foundation for deeper systems that would follow. As career mode and carefully curated soundtracks continued to shape quiet routines, FIFA began introducing another system that would slowly transform not only how people played, but how they thought about ownership, progress, and digital value, leading to the creation of Ultimate Team and a new emotional relationship with virtual football. In its earliest form, Ultimate Team appeared in FIFA 09 as a downloadable expansion, offering players the opportunity to collect digital cards representing real footballers, managers, and stadiums, and then assemble personalized squads through a combination of strategy, patience, and chance. Historically, this system reflected broader changes in digital culture, where collections, profiles, and online identities were becoming increasingly important. Music playlists, social media pages, and gaming profiles all contributed to a growing sense that digital spaces could carry personal meaning. Ultimate Team quietly adopted this mindset, transforming footballers into symbolic objects that represented not only skill ratings, but memories, ambitions, and emotional attachment. Opening a pack was never simply about statistics. It was about anticipation, imagination, and possibility. Early versions of the mode emphasized trading and community interaction, as players exchanged cards through online markets, negotiated prices, and learned the rhythms of supply and demand. These systems introduced economic thinking into everyday play, encouraging patience and observation rather than impulsive action. As years passed, Ultimate Team expanded through features such as chemistry systems, weekly challenges, special event cards, and seasonal competitions, gradually layering complexity onto simple foundations. Chemistry links encouraged players to consider nationality, league, and club relationships, subtly teaching patterns of football geography and history. Special editions such as Team of the Year, Team of the Season, and icon cards introduced mythological dimensions, celebrating legendary players like Ronaldo, Zidane, and Ronaldinho as timeless symbols rather than temporary athletes. Multiplayer within Ultimate Team also evolved into structured environments, offering divisions, tournaments, and later, weekend league competitions that balanced routine with occasional intensity. Yet even within competitive formats, many players treated matches as personal rituals, focusing on gradual improvement rather than external comparison. Psychologically, Ultimate Team introduced a gentle cycle of expectation and reward, where small successes accumulated slowly and setbacks were softened by future opportunities. This structure encouraged long-term engagement without demanding constant perfection. At the same time, ethical discussions emerged around microtransactions, pack probabilities, and digital spending, reflecting broader societal debates about consumer behavior and responsibility. These conversations gradually influenced transparency policies and regulatory attention in several countries. Despite these complexities, Ultimate Team remained deeply connected to memory and routine. Many players associated specific squads with particular life periods, remembering teams built during school years, university nights, or transitional moments. Menus, pack animations, and familiar sound cues became emotional markers, signaling comfort and continuity across changing seasons. From a cultural perspective, Ultimate Team reshaped football gaming into a living ecosystem rather than a static product, allowing identities, strategies, and relationships to evolve alongside real-world football. It encouraged creativity, patience, and personal storytelling, turning digital squads into reflections of individual taste and history. Through Ultimate Team, FIFA learned how to blend collection, competition, and contemplation into a single experience, preparing the foundation for its later transformation into a global service platform. As Ultimate Team gradually became part of daily routines, FIFA's online environments expanded into complex social spaces where competition, friendship, habit, and emotional resilience quietly coexisted. What had once been simple online matches slowly transformed into structured ecosystems filled with divisions, rankings, seasonal objectives, and shared expectations. With the introduction of seasons, divisions, and later weekend league formats, players were invited into recurring cycles of preparation, performance, and reflection. Matches were no longer isolated moments, but pieces of longer narratives shaped by progress bars, win-loss records, and promotion battles. Historically, this reflected the broader rise of live service gaming, where digital platforms evolved continuously rather than existing as static products. FIFA adapted to this model by offering regular updates, timed competitions, and rotating challenges that encourage steady engagement without forcing constant presence. Weekend League, in particular, became a defining ritual for many players. Starting on Friday evenings and lasting through Sunday night, it structured free time around scheduled matches, creating rhythms that blended anticipation with exhaustion. For some, it was a focused challenge. For others, a quiet background activity paired with music, conversation, or late-night reflection. Psychologically, these competitive structures balanced tension and release, offering moments of frustration followed by calm satisfaction. Players learned to manage emotions, accept uncertainty, and appreciate gradual improvement rather than immediate success. Online identities grew stronger during this period. Gamerdics, club names, customized kits, and stadium themes became extensions of personal expression, allowing individuals to craft recognizable digital presences. Repeated encounters with familiar opponents and teammates fostered subtle communities built on routine rather than formal organization. Voice chat, messaging systems, and social features supported connection across distances, enabling friendships to persist beyond physical boundaries. Many players associated specific usernames with shared victories, narrow defeats, and long conversations that extended late into the night. At the same time, streaming platforms and content creation began influencing how people approached online play. Watching others compete, analyze matches, and share strategies transformed private sessions into public performances. This visibility encouraged learning, imitation, and creative experimentation. Despite increasing structure and visibility, FIFA's online spaces continued to offer moments of quiet engagement. Late-night matches, played with low volume and dim lighting, often felt meditative rather than stressful, especially when players focused on rhythm and flow rather than outcomes. Losses became lessons, wins became memories, progress became personal. From a cultural perspective, this era highlighted how digital competition could coexist with emotional care, teaching players to balance ambition with rest. It showed that success did not require constant intensity, but rather consistency and self-awareness. As seasons passed and rankings reset, many players found comfort in familiar cycles, returning each year to similar formats that offer both novelty and stability. These patterns supported long-term loyalty by creating dependable structures within changing technological environments. Through online play and weekend league rituals, FIFA learned how to integrate competition into everyday life without allowing it to dominate identity. It became a space where people could test themselves, connect with others, and still preserve quiet moments of personal calm. As online competition and digital routines became familiar parts of everyday play, FIFA continued refining another quiet dimension of its identity. Visual realism, licensed environments, and the emotional atmosphere of stadiums that slowly transformed virtual matches into reflective experiences rather than simple simulations. From the early days of flat textures and basic crowds, the series gradually moved toward detailed player models, dynamic lighting systems, and responsive weather effects that mirrored real-world conditions. These changes were never sudden, but appeared slowly across generations, allowing players to adjust without losing familiarity. By the late 2000s and early 2010s, advancements in graphics engines enabled more natural animations, realistic ball physics, and subtle facial expressions, giving digital footballers greater individuality. Players began to recognize body language, fatigue, and emotional reactions, which added depth to otherwise repetitive scenarios. Licensing agreements played a crucial role in this transformation, allowing FIFA to include real leagues, clubs, kits, sponsors, and official stadiums. Seeing names such as Camp Nou, Old Trafford, Santiago Bernabeu, and Allianz Arena recreated digitally created emotional bridges between television broadcasts and personal play. These licensed environments supported immersion by making matches feel connected to global football culture rather than isolated digital events. Walking out of tunnels, hearing familiar chants, and seeing recognizable banners helped players feel present within shared traditions. The introduction of broadcast-style presentation elements further strengthened this illusion. Pre-match intros, camera pans, commentary improvements, and dynamic replays turned each game into a small narrative performance that unfolded slowly and naturally. Lighting systems evolved to simulate afternoon sun, evening shadows, floodlights, and seasonal variations, creating moods that subtly influenced emotional perception. A rainy night match felt different from a sunny afternoon kickoff, even when gameplay remained unchanged. Weather effects such as snow, fog, and wind added unpredictability without overwhelming control, reminding players that football, both real and virtual, existed within changing environments. Crowd behavior also became more responsive over time. Supporters reacted dynamically to goals, mistakes, substitutions, and tense moments, creating collective emotional rhythms that accompanied individual actions. Sound design complemented these visuals through layered chants, distant echoes, referee whistles, and ambient stadium noise that blended into calming backgrounds during extended sessions. Historically, these developments reflected a growing industry focus on sensory immersion, where realism was measured not only through resolution and frame rates, but through emotional authenticity and environmental coherence. For many players, these visual and auditory details became sources of comfort rather than excitement. Familiar stadiums, consistent camera angles, and predictable presentation elements created stable environments that supported relaxation. Late-night matches played under digital floodlights, with soft crowd noise and slow camera movements, often felt more like quiet rituals than competitive events. From a cultural perspective, FIFA's dedication to licensed realism helped preserve football heritage within digital archives, allowing stadiums, kits, and traditions to remain accessible even as real-world environments changed. In this way, visual detail became a form of memory preservation, ensuring that certain moments, spaces, and atmospheres could be revisited long after they had disappeared from physical reality. Through careful attention to light, texture, and sound, FIFA learned how to transform pixels into emotional landscapes, where realism supported reflection and familiarity rather than distraction. As FIFA's visual and atmospheric realism continued to mature, another transformation quietly unfolded beyond the console itself, reshaping how players learned, shared, and emotionally connected to the game through digital platforms, online videos, and live streaming environments. During the late 2000s and early 2010s, video sharing websites and emerging streaming services began offering new spaces where players could observe others play, analyze strategies, and experience matches indirectly. What had once been private living room activities gradually became public performances shaped by cameras, microphones, and virtual audiences. Tutorials, career mode journeys, pack opening sessions, and weekend league highlights slowly formed an informal educational network where knowledge circulated freely through personality-driven content rather than official manuals. Viewers learned formations, tactics, and trading strategies by listening to calm explanations, emotional reactions, and reflective commentary. This shift reflected a broader cultural movement toward participatory media, where audiences no longer remained passive consumers, but became contributors, critics, and collaborators in shaping shared narratives. Content creators developed recognizable styles, combining humor, calm analysis, storytelling, and routine-based uploads that mirrored viewers' daily schedules. For many, watching FIFA videos became part of evening rituals, offering companionship and familiarity alongside gameplay. Streaming platforms added another layer by enabling real-time interaction. Chat messages, donations, and shared reactions created temporary communities that existed only during live sessions, yet left lasting emotional impressions. Late-night streams often felt like quiet gatherings where strangers connected through shared attention and rhythm. Professional players and esports organizations also gained visibility during this era, transforming competitive play into spectator entertainment. Tournaments, leagues, and qualification events introduced structured pathways for talented individuals to move from private practice to public recognition. Yet even within highly competitive contexts, many viewers were drawn less to victory and more to consistency, personality, and emotional authenticity. Calm voices, respectful communication, and reflective attitudes became valued traits within online communities. From a psychological perspective, these mediated environments offered parasocial relationships, where viewers formed gentle emotional bonds with creators they followed regularly. These relationships provided comfort, stability, and a sense of belonging, especially during periods of social isolation or personal transition. FIF's integration with sharing tools, replay systems, and highlight capture features further supported this culture, making it easy for players to document and distribute moments of significance. Small achievements, unexpected goals, and emotional reactions became part of collective memory. Over time, digital archives of matches, streams, and commentary accumulated, preserving fragments of everyday life within searchable databases. These recordings allowed people to revisit past versions of themselves, their friends, and their routines. Historically, this period marked the transformation of gaming from an individual pastime into a networked cultural practice embedded within media ecosystems. FIFA was no longer confined to screens in private rooms, but existed simultaneously across platforms, devices, and time zones. Despite this expansion, the series maintained its capacity for quiet engagement. Many viewers preferred long, unedited sessions, low-volume commentary, and relaxed pacing that supported rest rather than stimulation. Watching FIFA became, for some, as soothing as playing it, offering similar rhythms of anticipation, familiarity, and gentle focus. Through streaming and content creation, FIFA learned how to exist within shared digital consciousness, blending personal experience with collective memory, and extending its presence far beyond physical consoles. As decades of digital football quietly accumulated inside consoles, accounts, and memories, FIFA gradually approached one of the most significant transitions in its history, a moment that would reshape its identity while inviting players to reflect on everything that had come before. For many years, the name FIFA had represented continuity, familiarity, and routine. Each new release felt like the return of an old friend, carrying updated visuals and features while preserving emotional patterns built over time. Menus, soundtracks, camera angles, and match rhythms formed a shared language understood by millions. When the partnership between EA Sports and FIFA officially ended, leading to the transition toward EA Sports FC, the change was more than a rebranding. It represented the natural evolution of a long-running cultural relationship shaped by legal structures, commercial realities, and creative independence. Historically, such transitions are common in long-lived media franchises. Yet they often carry emotional weight because names serve as anchors for memory. For many players, FIFA was not merely a title, but a symbol of childhood, adolescence, friendships, and personal growth. The move toward EA Sports FC preserved gameplay systems, licenses, and core mechanics, ensuring continuity beneath surface changes. Career mode, ultimate team, online seasons, and presentation styles remained familiar, allowing players to transition without losing comfort. At the same time, this moment invited reflection. Players began revisiting older editions, replaying classic matches, listening again to old soundtracks, and remembering specific teams, goals, and late-night sessions that had quietly shaped their lives. Social media, forums, and online discussions filled with personal stories, photographs of old discs, and shared nostalgia, creating collective spaces for remembrance. These conversations revealed how deeply digital football had been woven into everyday life. Psychologically, such nostalgia functions as emotional grounding, offering stability during periods of change. Returning to familiar virtual spaces provides reassurance that identity and memory can persist despite external shifts. The modern era of FIFA and EA Sports FC continues to evolve through live updates, seasonal content, and connected services, reflecting contemporary expectations of permanence and adaptability. Games no longer exist as finished products, but as ongoing environments shaped by communities. Yet beneath constant updates, patches, and new modes, the original essence remains present. The quiet rhythm of a match, the soft echo of crowd noise, the focused movement of players across digital grass. Late-night sessions still follow familiar patterns. Players adjust formations, listen to menu music, start one more match, and gradually drift toward rest. These routines continue, unchanged by names or logos. From a cultural perspective, FIFA's long journey demonstrates how interactive media can become personal archives, preserving emotional history alongside entertainment. Each save file, screenshot, and highlight clip represents a fragment of lived experience. Some players remember first goals scored with siblings. Others recall tournaments with friends, online rivalries, or solitary seasons played during difficult times. All of these moments coexist within the larger story. In this sense, FIFA and its successor are not merely sports simulations, but memory systems that quietly document human routine, aspiration, and connection. Looking forward, the future of digital football will continue changing through artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and cloud-based platforms. Yet regardless of technological form, the emotional structure remains constant, a space where people gather, compete gently, reflect quietly, and rest together. And so, the story of FIFA does not truly end. It simply changes its name, its interface, and its surface appearance, while continuing to live inside evenings, habits, and shared digital memories. As the long history of digital football slowly settles into memory, there remains one quiet chapter that feels different from statistics, rankings, and trophies. A chapter that speaks not through numbers, but through voice, emotion, and personal growth, embodied in the story of Alex Hunter. Introduced in FIFA 17 through a mode called The Journey, Alex Hunter represented FIFA's first serious attempt to tell a fully scripted human story inside a football simulation. Instead of starting as a finished star, players followed a young athlete navigating uncertainty, family expectations, media pressure, and personal doubt. For the first time, FIFA invited players to listen rather than rush, to observe conversations rather than only control movement, and to experience football not just as competition, but as a fragile emotional path shaped by choices and consequences. Training sessions, locker room discussions, interviews, and private reflections became part of gameplay, transforming matches into chapters of a larger narrative rather than isolated events. Every decision, whether spoken in a dialogue or expressed on the pitch, slowly shaped Alex's identity. Historically, this mode reflected the growing influence of cinematic storytelling in games, inspired by television series and interactive drama formats. It demonstrated that sports simulations could explore vulnerability, ambition, and self-discovery without losing authenticity. For many players, Alex Hunter's journey felt personal because it mirrored common experiences of growing up, seeking approval, handling failure, and learning resilience. His story unfolded quietly across FIFA 17, FIFA 18, and FIFA 19, creating a trilogy of emotional development. Late at night, playing through the journey often felt less like competing and more like reading a digital novel, where progress depended on patience, empathy, and reflection. Within a franchise known for repetition and yearly cycles, Alex Hunter's presence introduced something rare: narrative continuity and emotional memory. He reminded players that behind every rating, transfer, and highlight, there is always a human story waiting to be told. And in the calm space between matches and menus, his voice still echoes as a reminder that football, digital or real, is ultimately about people, dreams, and quiet perseverance.